Welcome to Omni Academy. This is Maria, and today we are starting our third lecture on the development of ear. In the last lecture, we studied the sources we need to develop ear, and in today's lecture, we are starting the development of external ear. As I mentioned in the first lecture, that the external ear is made up of three components. Number one, the pinna. Number two, external auditory meatus, and number three, tympanic membrane. So let's start with the development of the pinna, which is also known as auricle. So the pinna or the auricle develops from the fusion of six auricular hillocks. Auricular hillocks are mesenchymal proliferations or swellings located at the margins of the first pharyngeal cleft, contributed by both the first and the second pharyngeal arches. So from the first arch, tragus and external meatus are formed, and from the second arch, remaining part of the pinna is formed. So let me show you that in diagram. So you can see in this diagram that these are the six auricular hillocks, and from the fusion of these, pinna or the auricle is formed, and these hillocks are located at the margin of the first pharyngeal cleft, and these hillocks are formed from the contribution by both the first pharyngeal arch and the second pharyngeal arch. From the first pharyngeal arch, the meatus and tragus part of the pinna are formed. So this is the tragus, and it is formed from the first pharyngeal arch, and the remaining part of the pinna is formed. This yellow area is formed from the second pharyngeal arch. This red area, which is the tragus, is formed from the first pharyngeal arch, and this yellow area is the remaining part of the pinna, and it is formed from the second pharyngeal arch. So let's now move to the development of the external auditory meatus. So let's now start the development of external auditory meatus. So the source for the development of external auditory meatus is the first pharyngeal cleft. So you can say that the external auditory meatus is ectodermal in origin. But nowadays it is suggested that the external auditory meatus is derived from an invagination of the first arch, but still it is not confirmed. So if someone is asking you about that, what is the source for the development of external auditory meatus, you can say that it is derived from the first pharyngeal cleft. So the external auditory meatus initially is filled with the meatal plug that dissolves by the seventh month. But this meatal plug is a temporary solid epithelial plate that appears in the third month from proliferating ectodermal cells. Later in the seventh month, this plug begins to disappear. So the external auditory meatus attains the adult length by the 9 years of life. So let me show you the meatal plug in the diagram. So you can see in this diagram that this white area is the external auditory meatus, but it is filled with the meatal plug. This black area is the meatal plug, and that meatal plug dissolves completely by the seventh month. And now after the seventh month, the external auditory meatus is completely open. So let's now move to the development of the tympanic membrane, which is also known as the eardrum. So the eardrum is unique for having a triple origin, which means that it is derived from all the three germinal layers. And we know the three germinal layers are number one, the endoderm, number two, the ectoderm, and number three, the mesoderm. So the tympanic membrane is a trilaminar structure formed by meeting of three different embryonic layers. Tympanic membrane is made up of three layers. Number one, external layer. Number two, internal layer. And number three, middle layer. The external layer of the tympanic membrane is derived from the ectoderm of first pharyngeal groove. Internal layer of the tympanic membrane is derived from the endoderm of the first pharyngeal pouch, and the middle layer of the tympanic membrane is derived from the mesoderm, which comes from the pharyngeal arches 1 and 2. So these are the three layers of the tympanic membrane and their sources of development. Majority of the eardrum is attached to the handle of malleus. So let me now summarize the process for the development of external ear. We know that the external ear is made up of three parts. Number one, the pinna. Number two, external auditory meatus. And number three, the tympanic membrane. The pinna is derived from the pharyngeal arch 1 and pharyngeal arch 2. The pharyngeal arch 1 is giving rise to the tragus of the pinna, and pharyngeal arch 2 is giving rise to the remaining part of the pinna. The external auditory meatus of the external ear is derived from the first pharyngeal cleft. Initially, it is filled with meatal plug, but that plug dissolves by the seventh month of pregnancy. The tympanic membrane of the external ear is derived from three sources. Number one, endoderm, number two, ectoderm, and number three, mesoderm. The tympanic membrane has three layers. The external layer of the tympanic membrane is derived from the ectoderm, which comes from the pharyngeal groove 1. The internal layer of the tympanic membrane is derived from the endoderm, which comes from the pharyngeal pouch 1. And the middle layer of the tympanic membrane is derived from the mesoderm, which comes from the pharyngeal arches 1 and 2. So this was today's lecture. In the next lecture, we will be discussing the development of the middle ear. So see you in the next lecture.